Hey, everyone. This is Veronica.
This is Andy.
Howdy, I'm Dalton, and this is Logging into UKG, a Chicago Users production.
The HCM podcast by HCM admins for HCM admins. And boy,
That's
do
us.
we have a special guest for you today. Dalton?
We do. So today's topic is going to be a wonderful discussion with the one and only Krys Smutek. Krys, welcome very much to the podcast.
Happy to be here.
We're very happy to have you. So for those who don't know you, I feel like most people who listen to this podcast know who you are. But for those who don't, do you want to do a quick introduction? Your name, how long you've been using UKG, and maybe why you have such a strong connection to this podcast.
So hi everybody, my name is Krys Smutek, and there's so many things I want to say, but so I've been using UKG for the past 25 years at different companies at different levels. And why I have such a strong connection to podcasts, because I came up with the idea, and we have wonderful individuals who stepped up and are running this fabulously, and it's such a huge success. I'm just so happy for all of you, and especially the listeners who get the chance to listen to you guys. You make it fun, enjoyable, and share so many tips and tricks, and just having a ball, and I just love it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We wouldn't be here without her. You wouldn't get an opportunity to learn from us had Krys not came up with this awesome idea so long ago to really, start a podcast, and honestly to get the support from UKG to let it happen, right? Because we could have been at somebody's court getting fired because we're talking about their system or getting sued, but instead, here we are talking to all of you.
And doing an awesome job, guys, really. You're just taking it to another level.
So I believe that we have a couple of questions for you, Krys. Does anyone want to kick it off, or do you want me to kick off the first question here?
Go ahead, Dalton.
Go ahead.
Awesome. So Krys, you were very kind enough to go ahead and share a slide deck earlier with Andrew that he's shared with us. And it was really fun to look through, but I didn't realize, I knew that there was an origin to the Chicago Users Group that predated this iteration. Would you like to tell us how you started the original users group in the area?
Sure. So we bought UKG in 1998. So this tells you how long ago it was. And we, of course, were in Chicago downtown. And we, at that time, UKG only had 450 employees. And we thought, it would be interesting to see if others who are downtown companies utilize, at that time, UltiPro. So we talked with UKG, or at that UltiPro individuals, and yes, there were many companies, and we decided, so me and my boss at that time, we created the Midwest user group. And we had our own logo. We had, which was created by at that time, the company was General Growth. And that was the first Midwest UKG UltiPro user group, which we were hosting the meetings in our building, downtown Chicago, which is next to the almost Union Station. And we had mornings. We had it once a month on site. And I have to say that it was very successful. People were thirsty for networking. It's one of those things that's like, how are you doing that? We're going. And UKG at that time were starting their employee self-service. First one was black screen guys and white letters. Can you believe that? Mm-hmm. And manager self-service, 1999. So it was such a fantastic time. So that's how we started. And then later on, moving quickly to a few years in the future, I landed in a company where we needed more networking. It just seems like highs and lows, and where I started the Chicago Breakfast Club. And at that time, I was all by myself. I didn't have UKG attend meetings. They were supporting it, but they wanted to see, to be honest, how it's going to go. So I was doing all the networking, all the sponsors, all the clients. From the shy little girl that I had to be an extrovert. And I had to network and ask people to either sponsor, like you said, or do client testimonials. So I was networking a lot because everything was on my shoulder. And later on, UKG wanted to be part of it. So I invited them to come in. So hopefully I answered the question of how it all started.
Mm-hmm. You said it in 1998. Boy, you didn't want to know how old we were in 1998.
I'm glad that Andrew wasn't the only one doing the math in his head.
I can't do math, so I wouldn't dare say that to you.
What was, when you were back when in the early iterations of the users group, what was really the ultimate goal of the long-term goal for getting people together?
It was connecting people because all the meetings were in person. There were no virtual meetings. I was taking all the notes and doing recapping all by myself on the weekends. But the short and long goal was connecting people, because what I found out in my history with, working with and networking is, if people are dealing with something, you might hear, oh, you're the only one. You're only struggling because it's only happening to you, when in fact, it's not the case. And I'm not talking just by UKG. It's just, of different systems that we use. You might hear that. But if you go to a meeting and you network with somebody who is struggling with similar things, and they have a workaround. So my goal was always connecting people so they will find that partner and others, that if they're having a, issue, they will not only open the ticket, which they should with UKG, but also they can connect with the other members and have that network behind the scenes that sometimes was more productive or more get answers quicker maybe than from UKG. So the goal was always connecting.
So you started this in the connection piece, but what kind of made you wake up all one day and say, you know what, I'm going to be the one to do this. I see a need, there is a gap, but I think this is something I can do and I find value in it. What made you decide to say that you wanted to be the person to kind of take on all of this heavy burden and kind of become what we are today?
I'm going to challenge you on a heavy burden because I love HR. So when the person knows that if I'm with somebody who's teaching me and mentoring me and showing me a quicker, faster, better way of doing it, I really want to share that. And I want to share it with, strangers in a way, right? But there was nobody was doing anything to start a group. If you speak with anybody at that time, it was more, it will be great to have it. But that is a lot of commitment that went into it, not only coordinating everything. The big part was support from your company, that they're willing to let you work on things, that they're willing to get you go to networking events. So it's a partnership between you and your company, you and your managers that you work for. I loved it because I saw so many things. We had people who were hired through the user group. We had people who connected and resolved issues and became, stars. They're already stars, but just connecting with somebody else and doing and finding out what the workarounds that they were doing is working great for them, and they're trying it and it's working great for them. Those are the things that are priceless. And I always said, I'm so happy when people connect and learn from each other, because you can go to a training and you can go, to a learning event and whatever, But if it's not relevant to you, that's a different story, right? But if you have things that you're working on and you're just stuck on certain things and somebody comes in and says, oh yes, I had this similar situation. This is how I can, learn something new. Or did you know there's a article out there? There's so much out there that unless you really are searching and spending time on it, you might never find it. And I did find it and say, yeah, let me share it with you. It's like all this big gate opens up with knowledge and expertise, priceless. Hopefully that was helpful.
That was helpful. I think that, a lot of people, I think, want to venture out and do something, and it may not be a user group, but they're afraid to take that on and to do that. And they don't always see what the future holds, or even right now. And I think that it's really cool to see kind of how it's evolved. And I know the guys know as well, from when we were at the Aspire conference, so many people asked the question of how did the Chicago user group get started? Who do we connect with? And of course we were like, I'm not going to say anything about the 90s, but I wasn't here when you started it. But to see the work you put in, but how it's come about. And I think that you've left some great tools and thoughts and the whys behind it. And you are right. It's easy to kind of sit behind a screen or put in a ticket, but to have other people that you can connect with, that's one of the most beneficial parts of this, is to bounce ideas off of folks, but also to learn from others as well.
So
100%.
I'm curious, Krys, how early in the iteration of the user group did you guys start having sponsors for meetings? And what have you found have been sort of some of the great things about sponsors there? And is there anything that you would caution groups about using sponsors if there's a new group trying to get off the ground?
So, okay, let's talk about the sponsors. So sponsors I started using early on because I wanted not only for the people who are attending the meetings to wait to surprise them with some kind of gift. So sponsors on site, they would donate little tchotchkes, here and there. They were not necessarily donating gift cards because it was often PGs and me tchotchke, I can give them away. My company would pay for breakfast and will get the people coming in, you getting not only the information, the knowledge, the networking, the sponsors, tchotchkes, and then later on virtual, it was the gift cards. I just basically ask. I go to the sponsors, I go to the UKG, and I ask things, and they will give you that. With sponsors, it was tricky because I used to talk to each sponsor that was interested in sponsoring an event. It was more, you might want to call it vet them out, because it had to be a UKG sponsor, a partner of theirs. And I always try to figure out and mix things up. So we have sponsors who are newer, so they're learning. And also I'm a build or HRMS solutions. They've been in the industry for a while. And which one had different niches? Now everybody's doing everything, so it's a little bit different. But I always had conversation with sponsors, and at the time when I was building the user group, I also had conversation with each of the individuals. What are you looking for? And I made a list, and I used to keep the list of, this company is looking more on a payroll, or this company is looking more, I'm going to say workflows, because they don't have it. They're scared of doing it. And I used to try to tailor to those things that people will share with me that they're looking from the user group. We did surveys in this group. I did surveys once a year, and so sponsors is tricky, and you also have to recommend because they can go halfway. When you decide on a topic, you decide on a sponsor, you want to make sure that there's a good flow, that one doesn't get each other out. And the questions that always the sponsor asks, well, if the topic is performance management, do I have to do anything on that? No, you don't. And what's interesting is that many companies that are utilizing UKG, they're companies who've been using it for 10 plus years, so they're very knowledgeable. And then you have companies who just signed or lost. They don't know the basics. They don't know what's out there. With the UKG change so much recently, the merging Kronos and Pro, changing their communities, and we're trying to figure things out. But sponsor is sometimes you need to spend that extra time with them and explain what we're trying to accomplish, so it's all aligned in a way.
Gotcha. So for those that are listening that are either in an infancy of a users group or looking to start one, or maybe you just hit a roadblock with their users group, what maybe 3 or 4 things would you say are key to the formation of a users group and the growth of a users group?
So I would say listen to your members. Listen to what they're looking for, because if you have a user group and you're talking about topics they don't care about, you're going to lose them. So I would say number 1, do a survey. Number 2, network as much as you can. We're lucky we have a great UKG board like yourselves, that when you network, you come back and during our bi-weekly meetings, you mention things. That's what we need. You're the advocates for being out there and listening to the crowds. That's why we're so successful, because we're not ignoring them. We're paying attention and we're slating through, not only through the surveys that we do twice a year, but also listening to those individuals. What would be the other topics? I would say engage UKG as much as you can. Engage your ERMs. Those are the bloodlines. Blood, I don't know where that blood came out, but
Yeah.
those are the lines.
Like,
those are the
like
lines.
vampires or something. I don't know the bloodlines.
But those are the connections. Maybe it's a better word. It's a connection, because you do need them. Because I think that's where one of the things I wish was a little bit different, because I think ERMs, we get to ERMs when we need of something, right? But it used to be, and they evolve over times, at least what I've seen, is you used to have regular meetings with ERMs. You tell them what the company is looking for, because you wanted to know, hey, we're thinking of modifying this and that. I know UKG said it couldn't be done. And there are some success stories that I can talk about, but they're not user group related. But it's where ERM would step in and say, yes, here's companies, and connect with them. So again, user groups could be taken to such a next level. I always believed that from day one, that user group, it's a gold mine, I called it, for those that know me, because I don't think it's being utilized on the level that it could be. I've seen so much more for the user group, and that's so exciting, because as everything evolves.
All right.
Any other questions?
I'm sure we do. I think one of the things is, if you had to give one tip to someone that asked the question, how do you start a user group? You have a fantastic presentation that you put together kind of on the steps and the things that you've done. But if someone walked up to you and you could only give them one key piece of advice, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, start building your network. That's how I started. I had 7 people at my first breakfast club, which was my 3rd user group. And I called my friends who were using UKG that I met over the years. And I said, hey, I'm starting this group. Would you be a member? Do you know anybody else who might be interested in joining? That would be my first one. Surround yourself with people who are thirsty for the same thing that you are looking for, which is networking and knowledge transfer and sharing.
I think that's really good advice. I think Some people, if I had to give a little piece of advice, not everyone's fantastic at networking, or they think it's because they're an introvert. But I think even introverts have a moment to network, right? You may have to recharge or may not be as comfortable with extroverts, but I absolutely agree with you. Some of my most valuable learnings have come from people that don't work with me. They're people that I've met, and I think that your network, the more it grows, the more you have the ability to kind of learn. So that's really good advice.
You know, what I also found out, this is so interesting to me over the years, is when you have a meeting, and I'm thinking of the meetings in person, and you meet others who ask questions during the meeting, and then I would ask them after the meeting, like, wow, you'll be a great presenter. You know your topic, either a payroll person or talent or compensation. I have a story to tell. There was this guy, I won't put him on the spot, so I won't say his name, but he was a compensation director, and he would come into all the meetings and he would ask great questions. And so I reached out to him in one of those meetings after the meeting was done. I said, hey, would you be interested in doing a presentation on Ulti-Pro compensation? He's like, Krys, no, that's okay. I don't feel like I'm a good speaker. I said, look, you just never know. Well, let's put it, long story short, he was willing, he did it. And he did such a fabulous job that after, everybody's like, oh my God, you did such a great job. So I had a conversation with him. I called him a few days after and say, how you feel? How was that presentation feeling after, during? And he's like, Krys, I had no idea I had all this knowledge. You just don't know unless you talk about it. You take it out of in the spoken words that, oh my gosh, I know this, I know this. It's almost like a checklist, right? I hear this over and over. There was another person, she was an HRIS analyst, and she just knew her stuff. And I asked her to present, I can't remember on what, but I know her name just popped in. And she's like, well, no, I don't feel comfortable talking. I said, think of it, you're talking to me. Think of, because she was very open, like, oh my God, if I knew about this, I could do this and this. And I said, talk about it. Talk about the things you're not sure about, because there's others who are in the same situation. And she did it, and she was fabulous. And again, she's like, oh my gosh, I was so surprised. I just didn't know what I knew. And that's the part that is so thrilling, that people come out with a realization once they're done. You do have the knowledge. You do have all of it. So it just makes me so happy for that person to come out. It's like standing taller. It's like, of course, you knew it. You did. This is just a way for you to utilize this platform to see how good you are, how much knowledge you have. And that's priceless. Again, I know I used it before, but I think when people don't think about how much knowledge and how much expertise and how much they can share, being introvert, extrovert, whatever, and then have this venue here, this avenue that you can share, you can come back and be in awe that people are thinking you know so much, because you do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've seen this all over. It's just wonderful.
What would you say to organizations that don't want their HCM resources spending company time participating or even advocating their involvement for being in a users group? Because obviously there's quite a bit of time that an individual could be taken away from their day-to-day job with being either involved in the users group or even growing a users group in their area. What would you say to those organizations that would be opposed to their HCM person being involved?
Well, I would say give them 6 months to try it out and see what that person can come back with, and share all the knowledge from those 1-hour calls that they will be attending. And again, when you think about from the member's perspective, the only thing they have to do is come in and spend that 1 hour. That 1 hour, we have so much packed into it. We have the client testimonials, you're making connections. You have the UKG experts, you're making connections. You have the sponsor who you might need for special projects, making connections. Everything is given to you. So if companies don't believe in it, and Andrew, I hear you, there have been some opposition. I would say give that person 6 months and you'll see the benefit you're getting in all of them, and you convert and to us and you say, you know what, it's worth the time, because just by research itself, if you have issues, by utilizing the UKG networking, it's all great, and the communities, it's great, but you might get an answer within half an hour, and I've seen that happen from a networking because you met somebody who you know might have the answer, than spending 2-3 hours. So which is worth. So I would just build a good business case with scenarios, if you have any, of why spending that 1 hour per month is worth your time. And that's why I'm saying give it 6 months, 3 months. I think you would have, the companies will see return on investment automatically. I mean, they will see it sooner than later, is my point.
Yeah. And we're not charging to be members of the users group yet. So why not?
That's a great point, because at one time, actually, somebody suggested that we should be charging, and I said never. And that's why we have the sponsors who give at least, that's what I believe, that we pay enough for everything, that if the sponsor can donate the gift card, that's almost like they're paying us. But also, let's turn this around. Sponsors are the ones that need clients. We can provide and expose that big area to them, so by them, and that's why we have sponsors knocking on the doors and they wanted to be one. Great, but is this relevant right now? Is this the time for this company? Because they specialize in something that we might not be interested yet. There are other companies who I think UKG eventually will buy them because of the products that they have. So it's all interesting, it's all evolving, and it's always what is the most relevant and how it can be a huge benefit for that member to be at that 1 hour call and walk away with all those goodies.
Agreed.
You had mentioned that in one of the earlier iterations of the user group, like the like driving force of the user group was you and you alone. Yes. And I would argue that although we have a board, you still are definitely one of the large driving forces of our user group. But having that support on a board, for some of those like fledgling user groups out there that are trying to get that, is there a size that you would say that you have found very useful to have, where it's like, hey, if there's this many people on there, I found that things really get moving, but if there's this many, then it starts to get bogged down. Like, is there sort of a sweet spot that you've found?
Well, I think the sweet spot is what we have, and I'll tell you why. Doing by one person like I did all of this, it took a humongous amount of work. Once everything was, you still have to go look for client testimonials, you still have to look, for sponsors. Well, sponsors are more easier to find, because now if the word spread of the user group, then they will be knocking on your door. But it's just getting all that work. So having done that, to having a great board like we have, think of what are you trying to accomplish, right? So for us, we're lucky we have different roles, right? All of us are equal on the board, but like some are taking care of the LinkedIn and Facebook. You guys are doing the podcast. Cheryl's sending out the emails and taking care of the Gmail. The whole focus for me was make it as easy as possible. So for the members, you are not spending hours and hours. That if one can do one thing, somebody can do another thing. Even surveys, we have Lydia stepping in, say, yeah, let me create the survey. We all take a look at it. So again, it's all of us stepping up. I don't feel, nobody mentioned anything, that anybody's saying, hey, I'm doing too much, I don't want that. I think sometimes, depending on work, it varies. So sometimes the other members will step in. It's totally okay. It's almost like a family. If somebody is busy with others, the spouse will step in and, do more this week and next week, but then it turns around. So as long as you have a good committed members that are willing to do it, and it's not taking a long time. That's why I think 6 to 8 is a good number. And I'll tell you, at the beginning of this user group, when I started it 2 years ago, I had a company, and I had 3 or 4 people from that company, and it was on the board along with some others. It was not working out. So after 3 months, I believe, I spoke with that company, and they understood 100% that this was not working out for them, and we changed it. And again, if you have too many people, I think it's not necessarily good or bad. It's just, I think 6 to 8 is the right number. Just working with you guys who were here from the beginning, and I'm so happy as I do every year, if you want to step in and do it. So it's just, I'm so happy because everything, I feel like it's a good flowing, good working machine, right? I mean, we know what the roles are. We know everybody is, like I say, equal member, and we all stepping up when we need to and help each other. So I think that's what's working. We all respect each other for the knowledge that each one of you brings to the user group. And I think if it's too large, then it might get lost in the shuffles. So I think having a smaller group might be a good, better idea. But you try it and you see how it works.
Awesome. Well, does anyone have any other questions for Krys?
I guess when looking back on your entire career, both with UKG as well as what you've done with the Chicago users group, when you lay in bed at night, what is the one or two things that you are most prideful about?
I'm proud of the people that I've met. I'm so happy for you guys, for all the board members, and how well we all work together. That makes me very happy. I'm happy of how you guys are coming up with different suggestions and decisions, and we try things. I'm also always thinking of what is the next thing. So when we started this conversation, right, I was thinking a year and a half ago of what will be the next thing. Like almost every year, what is the new thing? So it's the same thing when I started the UKG Executive Roundtable. I was thinking, okay, we need something for the executives. When we had the networking, it's like, wait a minute here, we have no networking opportunities. We got to have that. So I'm thinking always, so when the podcast was like, well, hold on a second, podcasts everywhere, we should have one. So what is next in 2025? That's where my mind is.
Our own TV episode.
Yeah.
What's it?
I love it.
Real Housewives of UKG. What is it? Like, oh my gosh.
But
Married
point,
is like married
always...
to UKG. There's all these.
I love it. I love it. No.
So you just said you're already thinking. So have you thought? Are there any kind of like, you want to give us any sneak peeks of what you're thinking like is next for 2025? We podcasted. We're now at Aspire. We're UKG. You've got executive roundtables. There's so many things. I mean, any kind of insight onto, some things maybe you're thinking you can tell people about?
Who's going to play us in the movie?
That's true.
I'm going to hold off on answering that question. I think there's many possibilities. So let's keep the surprise going, but we need a secret word for our upcoming meeting. What do you guys think the secret word should be?
100%. I think that the word of the episode should be Smutek.
Oh, I thought you were going to say podcast. Normally they're very simple.
Oh no, we're going to go ahead and honor Krys here.
Now, can you spell it for the listeners? Because what we don't want them to do when they get on the thing is spell it wrong. We don't know what you're spelling.
I will. Yes, the spelling of that is Smutek. But during the last meeting, we did go ahead and use Kahoot for our quiz. It seemed to go over well, so if it continues to go over well, on future ones, maybe we'll continue to use that so that you don't have to remember how to spell it. You just have to remember that Smutek, as in Krys Smutek, the one and only, is the word of this podcast.
I love a good Kahoot. Those are fun.
Right?
I love that. That was so good, Dalton.
Krys, as we're closing out here, I just want to, on behalf of everybody here on the podcast and everybody that has either been a part of a users group and all the other board members, just want to thank you for all your hard work, your dedication, and your drive to bring us all together and keeping it fresh and really making an impact on a very large community. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And I thank you so much for things that you've done for me, and I'm sure others as well. But you've been fantastic to work with. You've been an excellent podcast guest, and I just I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done.
100%.
Well, thank you for your kind words.
I definitely echo the sentiment. I think the only thing I would add is for all the newbies out there, the people that are new to the podcast to the user group, myself included. It's nice to have a community, and you kind of facilitated, but also you opened the doors for new people to feel comfortable to come in, to share their ideas and to work with others. So thank you for continuing to not only do all those wonderful things Andrew said, but also really, as new people come along on their UKG journey, or maybe they just haven't been connected, you're making it so easy for them to get connected regardless of where they sit. You don't have to be in Chicago to be a part of the Chicago user group. And I personally thank you for that, because you know what, our user group down here is gone. And you guys are all I got. So this is it.
We're so happy to have you. And thank you for your kind words as well.
Yeah, I think it really says something that, we say that this is a Chicago users production, but of the three people who are regularly on the podcast, only one of us is even based in Illinois.
Is that me? Yeah, I'm the only one in Illinois, and I'm not in Chicago.
Oh, I thought you were St. Louis.
But no, I'm in Illinois. I'm just
okay.
You're in
Okay, so two of us are actually in Illinois. Only one's in Chicago. But I really do think that speaks to, Krys is like, okay, we're gonna do a Chicago users group this time, and we don't need to do Midwest. And truly, it is turning into just growing and growing. We have people who wake up on the West Coast and hop on the live calls with us, and I think that the only reason that that's happening is because Krys, you had that vision of, hey, let's connect these people, and you're keeping them connected. And really, if you guys are listening to this, it's because of Krys that we're doing it, and thank you, Krys.
Oh, you guys are just too good for me. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. I don't want to cry, but this is priceless. I really do need that, guys.
We can't pass you tissue virtually, so please don't cry, because it's what we do for this. We can't help you, but I think it goes without saying. Not only do we thank you for that, but we also thank you for sharing. I think this episode is going to help a lot of people. As we mentioned, there's so many people that are interested in doing this and have the same energy for connecting others, and they didn't know where to start. But you just giving some insight from all of your years of doing this, I think so many people are going to take from this and be able to just get going, have some energy. And I love what you said about they didn't know they could speak, or they didn't know they had the knowledge. I think if anyone from this episode takes anything, take it that you can do it, right? That all you got to do is put yourself out there, one foot in front of the other, take some of the great advice Krys has given, and I'm sure that your user group, wherever you may be, is going to turn out to be phenomenal. We will always be forever biased, but we just as good. I mean, we gotta throw that out there, man. Now, this is still number one. We love theirs, but we love ours more, right?
Well, and
we have a special heart for us.
And on the topic of supporting others who are trying to get their user group off the ground, we really do hope that this episode is helpful for you. Feel free to stop on in to any of our online calls, or to watch the recordings if you can't make it live. You can see how one user group does it. take the things you like from ours, leave the things you don't like, really, build the user group that works for you and your network and your community. And if you have further questions for us, always reach out to us. Chicago, UKG Chicago UG@gmail.com. Send us your questions. We'll go ahead and send the answers. And if you have a specific one for Krys, go ahead and just put that in the subject line, and we'll make sure that we get a Krys answer for you.
This is for the master. This question is for the master. Right.
Oh.
Well, good.
Well, with that, thank you everyone for joining us today and listening in. We really appreciate the time that you take. And this is sorry, I can't even get out there right now.
Who we are by the end of this.
This is logging into UKG, logging out.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks all.